Non-Muslim wedding ceremonies allowed with maximum 20 attendants. 3 killed in Britain stabbing rampage. Good evening, I'm Cynthia Arthur. You're watching News on 2. Malaysia has recorded 16 new COVID-19 cases as of noon today, bringing the total tally of infections in the country to 8,572, 295 of which are active cases. In a statement today, Health Director General Dr. Noor Hisham Abdullah said the 16 cases also included 3 imported cases, with the remaining 13 made up of local transmissions, of which 9 are non-Malaysians. Dr. Noor Hisham said of the 9 locally transmitted cases among non-Malaysians, 2 were from close contact association with a positive COVID-19 patient in Selangor from the cleaning company cluster, 6 from the Pedas cluster, Negeri Sembilan, and 1 case from temporary detention centre in Tawau, Sabah. Meanwhile, of the 4 cases involving Malaysians, 2 were from close contact association with a positive COVID-19 patient of the Kidurong cluster in Sarawak. 1 case each involving detainee in Malacca and from the pre-operation screening in hospital in Johor. Dr. Noor Hisham also said a total of 10 patients had recovered and discharged from hospitals as of noon today. The total cumulative number of COVID-19 recovery now stands at 8,156 cases, or 95.1% from the total cases. He added 3 cases are undergoing treatment in the intensive care unit ICU, and there are no fatalities recorded today, leaving the total cumulative death cases in the country at 121 cases. Non-Muslim marriage ceremonies are now allowed at temples and churches, as well as at non-Muslim associations. Senior Minister Security Datuk Seri Ismail Sabri Yaakob said the wedding ceremony, however, will be limited to 20 guests, including the wedding registrar officer. In a statement today, the senior minister said the wedding ceremony will also depend on the capacity of the temple or the association premises where the wedding is held. He said they must follow social distancing and other standard operating procedures, SOPs, set by National Security Council. However, he said receptions are still not allowed to be held after the wedding ceremony. On another note, Datuk Seri Ismail Sabri said 10 individuals were remanded while another 10 were issued with compounds for violating the Recovery Movement Control Order RMCO yesterday. The senior minister said those detained included 6 for illegally participating in karaoke activities at entertainment outlets and 8 at pubs and nightclubs on Saturday. Datuk Seri Ismail Sabri said the Compliance Operation Task Force conducted 66,468 checks nationwide yesterday, involving 15,432 enforcement personnel. Meanwhile, the senior minister said the police conducted 60 roadblocks nationwide and detained 14 foreigners for immigration violations during Ops Benteng yesterday. Datuk Seri Ismail Sabri also reported that another 528 Malaysians have returned home from Singapore, UAE, Indonesia, Australia, Japan, Vietnam, India, Netherlands and South Korea. He said 2 of the returnees were brought to the hospital, while 526 were instructed to undergo mandatory self-quarantine at their respective homes. At the same time, Datuk Seri Ismail Sabri said the Construction Industry Development Board, CIDB, with its 24 enforcement officers, had inspected 16 sites throughout the country. He explained that 3 sites were found to be compliant with the SOP, 2 had breached the SOP and given warning, while 11 remained inactive. The cumulative total of construction sites following the SOP as of yesterday was 2,176, with 421 being non-compliant and given warning. CIDB had also shut down 19 sites for not adhering to the SOPs. Barbershops and beauty salons compliance of standard operating procedures (SOPs) has now reached 90% nationwide. Domestic Trade and Consumer Affairs Minister Dato Alexander Nantalingi said this encouraging compliance rate is based on checks conducted at over 551 premises nationwide. The minister said to date, 780 notices under Section 2 of Price Control and Anti-Profiteering Act 2011 and 17 warning letters have been issued against the operators for various offences. He was met after visiting a business premise in Permatang Pau this morning. Asked on price of goods and items, he said continuous monitoring will be conducted in protecting consumers from irresponsible businesses. Candidates and parties contesting in the Chini by-election are urged to comply with the standard operating procedures (SOPs) set by the Election Commission during the campaign period. Pekan's Police Chief Superintendent Muhammad Razli Muhammad Yusof said candidates must obtain permit for ceramah activities as well as mobile ceramah on wheels. Superintendent Muhammad Razli, when contacted by RTM, said for indoor ceramah activity, the organizer must ensure the gathering is not exceeding 250 people at one time. He also warned that police would not compromise and would take immediate action against any individual who violates the COVID-19 SOP during the campaigning period. The Election Commission has now allowed ceramah and house-to-house walkabouts by candidates and parties as part of their campaign, following the decision by the National Security Council that relaxed several restrictions during the Recovery Movement Control Order, RMCO. Coming up, Kedah focuses on entrepreneur agricultural programs to rebuild economy. Senior Minister Dato Sri Ismail Sabri Yaakob has conducted a working visit to the Royal Malaysian Air Force Base in Butterworth, Pulau Pinang yesterday. Dato Sri Ismail Sabri said such working visits will be conducted from time to time to ensure the Malaysian Armed Forces remain prepared to face any challenge. Dato Sri Ismail Sabri said that currently he has extra time to conduct the visit to the army base after spending the first few months of his tenure as the Defence Minister focusing on National Security Council meetings and daily press briefings on COVID-19 matters. However, as the press briefings are now scheduled to be held thrice a week, he now has the time to focus on his ministry.
2 minggu lagi saya akan ke beberapa camp lagi untuk tentera darat dan juga tentera laut. Bagi saya melihat sendirilah, bukan setakat dengar briefing di Mindef tentang kesiapsiagaan angkatan tentera kita. Jadi saya pergi itu untuk saya lihat sendiri dan dapat feel dari segi apa yang sebenarnya ada di peringkat camp dan sebagainya.
The Kedah state government is in the process of accelerating its economic development, socio-cultural and stability in all sectors. Kedah Menteri Besar Muhammad Sanusi Mat Noor said this is in line with the call from the Sultan of Kedah for the state government to give emphasis on state stability and economic advancement. The Menteri Besar said the state government will intensify its efforts in fulfilling the people's needs and trust.
Adapun maksud slogan Kedah Sejahtera Nikmat untuk Semua adalah suatu hala tuju, juga iltizam patik-patik sekalian daripada diri patik sendiri, ahli-ahli Majlis Mesyuarat Kerajaan Negeri serta seluruh anggota jentera pentadbiran untuk mencapai matlamat dalam usaha membawa kesejahteraan kepada semua rakyat jelata tuanku. Ini akan patik pastikan sentiasa menjadi keutamaan dalam pentadbiran sebagaimana yang telah ke bawah duli Yang Maha Mulia Tuanku titahkan.
The Menteri Besar said this in his special message in conjunction with the Sultan of Kedah's birthday. The Kedah Development Authority, Kedah, is set to expand the agricultural and entrepreneurial development programs in effort to help rural-based entrepreneurs who were hit hard by the COVID-19 outbreak. Rural Development Minister Datuk Dr. Abdul Latif Ahmad in a statement said Kedah will also focus on agricultural activities on 979 hectares of land to benefit the country's food production industry. Datuk Dr. Abdul Latif said among the agricultural projects carried out by Kedah is the Kedah Farmers Economic Improvement Project that involves an area of 391 hectares. Other than that, he also mentioned about the land rehabilitation and upgrading in rural areas involving 219 hectares of land, palm oil plantation project on 269 hectares of land, and Sikh Sejahtera Agropolitan project on 100 hectares of land. Datuk Dr. Abdul Latif said Kedah will focus on human capital development and empowerment of the rural community, especially for rural youths, through the technical and vocational education and training TVET program by the Kedah College. 2 people were killed and another 2 seriously injured when the car they were travelling in crashed into a lamppost at kilometre 4 of Jalan Tambunan, Kota Kinabalu yesterday. Keningau District Police Chief DSP Syaruddin Mat Hussein said they were travelling in the direction of Kampung Minodung to Kampung Kaingaran, Tambunan when the crash happened at about 11 p.m. DSP Syaruddin, when contacted, said a 25-year-old man was driving the car with 3 passengers, including 2 women, adding that on reaching a bend, the car is believed to have gone out of control and hit the lamppost. He said the impact split the car in 2 and all 4 were thrown out of the vehicle. The front passenger and 1 back passenger, both women, were killed, while the driver and the other back passenger were seriously injured. All victims were taken to Tambunan Hospital for post-mortem and treatment. The Selangor Police contingent detained 19 individuals for driving recklessly in an operation dubbed Ops Samsing Jalanan at Kajang Tol Plaza Lekas Highway. Selangor Traffic Investigation and Enforcement Department Chief Superintendent Azman Shariat said 8 of them were detained for driving under alcohol influence. According to Superintendent Azman, a total of 367 summons were issued for various offences throughout the operation.
Sejumlah 367 saman telah dikeluarkan, di mana saman yang tertinggi adalah tidak mempunyai cermin CC. Sebanyak 89 saman, tiada lesen mandu 79 saman, pengubahsuaian nombor plat sebanyak 76 saman, 38 saman ke atas motosikal yang tiada nombor plat, serta 22 saman ke atas motosikal yang telah dibuah suai.
Superintendent Azman also added that 2 of the detainees tested positive for drugs. The police also seized 77 motorcycles, as 25 of the riders did not possess valid driving license, while another 10 were under the legal age to ride. Meanwhile, in Kedah, 9 teenagers aged between 17 and 19 years old were detained for riding their motorcycles recklessly. Kedah Traffic Investigation and Enforcement Department Chief Superintendent Chua Seong Lim said all suspects were detained during an operation in Kota Setar, Pendang and Kuala Muda yesterday evening. Superintendent Chua said the suspects committed the offences at kilometres 79.5 to 74 along the northbound side of the North-South Expressway near Sungai Petani. Sungai Petani Court Assistant Registrar Muhammad Alif Abdul Aziz granted a remand order against all suspects for 4 days. Superintendent Chua added that during the operation, the police also issued 18 summons for various traffic offences, including not using the P sticker, not using side mirrors, and for failure to display plate numbers. The Malaysian Maritime Enforcement Agency (MMEA) detained 3 local fishing boats along with 11 crew for breaching the conditions of their fishing licenses. The arrest was made during an operation codenamed Op Benteng Laut, about 6.4 nautical miles from Sungai Belukang, Bangan Datuk, in the waters off Hutan Melintang last Friday. Perak MMEA Director, Maritime Captain Shahrizan Rahman, in a statement today, said the 11 crew, all foreign nationals aged between 17 and 40, were detained between 7:15 p.m. and 8 p.m. following a tip-off. The fishing boats were detained for breaching the conditions of their licenses, which is conducting fishing activities below 12 nautical miles, while the foreign fishing crew were detained for not having valid travel documents. The case is being investigated under Section 8B of the Fisheries Act 1985 and Section 6 subsection 1 subsection C of the Immigration Act 1959-63. Captain Shahrizan also said that all detainees have been tested with the COVID-19 swab test and currently placed at the Manjung District Office while waiting for the test result. That concludes this evening's news on 2. In our top story, non-Muslim wedding ceremonies allowed with maximum 20 attendants. Receptions still prohibited. Join us again at 12:30 tomorrow afternoon. I'm Cynthia Arthur. Stay tuned to TV2 and have a pleasant evening.